Hi, this is Dale Buchanan, the host of Puppy Talk Podcast. Before we get started today, I wanted to let you know of my new book, The Complete Puppy Training Manual. It's available on Amazon in 4 formats: Kindle ebook, paperback, hardcover, and audiobook. You can find it on Amazon right now. It's called The Complete Puppy Training Manual, and I will put a link in the show notes of this episode. I'm Dale Buchanan, and this is Puppy Talk, the podcast that offers advice on how to raise a healthy, happy, and obedient puppy. This podcast is sponsored by Top Gun Dog Training. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast now so you don't miss a single episode of Puppy Talk. Welcome to Puppy Talk episode number 25. How to prevent your puppy from jumping on people. This is going to be broken down into 2 parts, or 2 different situations of puppy jumping. 1, puppy jumping on people out on a walk. And number 2, puppy jumping on people coming into the house. We want to eliminate both of those, and we want to get those under control at an early age. I started training Dixie not to jump on people at about 12 weeks old. So let's get started. 2 things that you want to do right now to stop any behavior, not just puppy jumping. 1, stop reinforcing the behavior. That means that when your puppy is jumping, you do not want to be talking to the puppy and giving it a bunch of different commands. And 2, stop allowing the puppy to rehearse the behavior in the first place. In other words, you take away the stimulus, which are the people, that allows the puppy to continually rehearse this behavior that's self-rewarding to them. We're going to get into more details of this in just a minute. Our goal is to make this behavior extinct. However, I want you to be aware of something that we call extinction burst. So if your puppy stops jumping for quite a while, there could be a day or 2 where all of a sudden they have excessive jumping. This is called an extinction burst. And it's nothing to be concerned about. You just get back into the training and the extinction burst should quickly go away. To make jumping extinct, we have to start by no longer reinforcing the behavior. So when your puppy is jumping, you don't want to be talking to it and saying its name and giving it a bunch of commands. And you also don't want to be touching the puppy because that's going to give it attention and that's going to reinforce the behavior. So you have to stop doing that if you're doing that right now. If somebody comes into your house and you're talking to the puppy all the time, trying to get it to do something while it's overexcited, you're just reinforcing the behavior. So you want to eliminate yourself from doing that. The next thing that we want to do is we want to create alternative behaviors for the jumping. When Dixie was very young, I got her at 10 weeks, and the first couple of weeks, people would come up to her, "Oh, Dixie, oh, you're so cute, oh," and she would jump, just out of control. Nothing I could say to her was going to get her to obey. Well, she didn't know anything at that time, and she was just very excited. So what I taught her along the way, starting at about 12 weeks old, and at about 16 weeks, she really got this. I taught her that when she sees somebody, she lays down. And I used positive reinforcement, a clicker, and food rewards to do this. So we would walk outside. When she sees somebody, I would lure her into a down position. I would mark that behavior and say, "Good girl," and give her a food reward. I allowed her to stay in that position until the person walked up closer. When the person got close, I released her from the down position so that she can greet the person. At that point, she was allowed to jump on them, but it could be very minor jumping. In other words, when the person would squat down, I would allow her to put her front paws on the person's thigh and keep her back legs down on the ground, and she could get closer to them so she could give them a kiss or that they could pet her head or something like that. And that was very acceptable for everybody that came and greeted her. What they didn't want is they didn't want any dog, especially Dixie, jumping up on them because that's annoying. So I allowed her to put her front paws on them very softly and very mildly after I released her from the down. And that completely eliminated all of her jumping on people during the walk. Now let's talk about how to stop your puppy jumping on people when they come inside the house. And I'll tell you exactly what I did with Dixie. What we need to do is we need to teach the puppy a good down stay. And this is going to take some time. You're going to need a down position with the food lure, down position without a food lure, and a vocal command or hand signal, and teach the puppy to stay. And in addition, you want to have the puppy go to a place like a bed. So with Dixie, I taught her to go to her bed, do a down stay when somebody was knocking at the door or somebody was about to come over. We all usually know when somebody's coming over. So about 2 or 3 minutes before somebody was going to come over, I would put Dixie in the downstay on her bed and keep her there. And then when the door knocked, she had to stay in the downstay. Keep in mind that we rehearsed this behavior hundreds of times before anybody ever came over. Dixie would do a good downstay for 2 to 3 minutes, no problem, and not move. Your dog needs to be able to have that level of discipline before this is going to work. So when the person comes in, they come closer to Dixie, and of course they want to see Dixie and interact with Dixie, and they want to pet her and so forth. Then I will release her from the downstay, and she can go over and interact with them. She can jump on them a little bit, and just very little bit, and that's okay. And then she has to lie back down and interact with them from the sit or the down position. People don't like dogs jumping on them, especially puppies. It can be very annoying, especially when they get very big. I have worked with some puppies and some dogs who are 100 pounds, and when they jump, they hurt. And it's very, very bad. And the last thing I will say about puppy jumping is you have to get it under control early. Once the puppy's already jumping and it's already out of control, you can't do anything about it then. You have to stop the behavior, and then you have to work on these techniques before the behavior gets out of control, before the jumping gets escalated. And this is true with any behavior, whether it be chewing, barking, jumping, anything, any annoying minor puppy behavior that you don't want. You need to get it under control early on before it gets out of control. You just can't let it get escalated and then pull the puppy down physically or keep giving the puppy commands, because it's not going to work. You want to stop the puppy from having to even do the behavior in the first place. That's the goal. I hope these tips help you, and I hope that this information is helpful for stopping your puppy from jumping on people. It does take a lot of work. It does take training, but it's well worth it in the long run, because you're going to have your dog for a very long time, and you absolutely do not want them jumping on people. Be sure to visit our website at puppytalkpodcast.com, where you can leave us a review, see all episodes, and buy me a coffee. Thank you and have a great day. This is Dale Buchanan, host of Puppy Talk Podcast. I have an announcement of a new book that I just published called Potty Training Your Puppy. It's available on Amazon in Kindle and paperback, soon to be available on audiobook. You can find out all the details of this book using the link in the show notes. It's called Potty Training Your Puppy. It's a comprehensive book with a simple and effective way to help potty train your puppy, and it really works. Check out the link in the show notes.